I've got a sketchbook tour today. She is small, but mighty. It's cute little Talon's Art Creations sketchbook. I think it's 3.5 by 5 inches. Yeah, we got my sticker on the front. It's a holographic kitty with a star. I love this sticker. It's so cute. Oh, it's not as rainbowy in this light on the camera, but trust me, it sparkles. And we've got an Art Hang Party sticker on the back. Shout out to Melissa Martin Art with Art Hang Party. Yeah, I talk about it all the time, so you know. Let's see. Yeah, it's a cute little guy. This is the travel sketchbook. Travel. Like I'm not really traveling places. I'm traveling like places down the street or picking up kids or waiting in a parking lot or a doctor's office. I mean, this is what I mean by travel. It's like I bring it with me everywhere. It's in my handbag. I pull it out. A lot of times I'm just using like a brush pen or a pencil, or you know, I'm just usually using like one color. I'm not getting too complicated in this sketchbook. Once in a while I use it to test out some other materials, but I don't remember everything that's in here, so some of these things will be a interesting revisit, I guess, because it's been a while since I've seen it. So without further ado, we can get into it, but let me warn you, this is chatty. It's a chatty sketchbook tour. This is a chatty channel, period. I'm a chatty girl, so if you're not into that, you're gonna be so miserable. But you're gonna be like really disappointed. It's 160 pages of a sketchbook. It's chatty and it's long. So you've been warned. If you just wanna look at the art and you don't wanna hear my voice, hit the mute button, baby. You do you. It's fine. Yeah, let me know what you like to use as a like small pocket sketchbook. I'd love to hear about other brands, because I'm always interested in checking out new things. So if you can leave it in the comments. I haven't found anything else since, but I just bought another one of these. I've only filled out a few pages, but I might change it up next time. Who knows? Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, here she is. Look at this tiny little baby. It's so cute and small. It looks so little on camera. I should probably zoom in. Let's do that. Let's zoom in a tad. Okay, that looks a little better. But it's just she's just a little baby, little baby girl. So this is my sticker on the front. The holographic is really popping here. Now you can really see it. And then we have Melissa's Art Hang Party sticker in the back. The color really like works with this. I don't know, just really works with that. All right, so I started this May 10th of last year and finished it on July 7th of this year. So usually this is all I do for the opening page, opening spread, because I don't need, I feel like when I did make a drawing on the front page of a sketchbook, the couple of times I did it, I felt like I got sick of looking at it every time I opened it up. So yeah, and then some people really freak out about the pressure. So here, I do remember doing this spread here. I was sitting in the audience waiting for my daughter's choir concert to start, and you get there and you're like waiting like 20-30 minutes, you know, because you get there early with your kids. So I doodled up some stuff. There were a couple things I drew, like just looking at Pinterest or something, but a lot of it was I was drawing I think a duck from memory and a goldfish from memory. So they're a little bit wonky. This was at a Mexican restaurant. I was looking at some of the folk art on the walls and just doodling that while waiting for our food. A quick tip, a hack, if you will. and I will always take a hack. If you're waiting for food at a restaurant, or you're waiting for a doctor's appointment, you're waiting for somebody to like get out of the building that you're picking up at the airport, whatever, if you need things to move faster, you just reach in your bag, you pull out your sketchbook, you start. You're just like, I'm just gonna do a quick little doodle. Guess what? You get started, the food's arrived. Your appetizer's there. The doctor's office is calling you into the next little tiny waiting room. Things happen. It's a special magical time machine, a travel sketchbook. I'm telling you, it's magic. Use it. This was one of the very first art hang parties I'd gone to. This isn't the very first, but one of the first. I think this might have been like the third one. Melissa was doing birds and fish as the theme. And the reason she had picked that theme was because there's a vlog of mine somewhere, or it might have been a sketchbook tour. I'd have to go back and find it because I don't remember, but I was drawing a lot of fish, and I had said, I've gotten really into drawing fish lately because fish are like the birds of the sea. Like, I draw a lot of birds, but I really felt like fish were, like the magical flying, floating creatures of the sea. And in return, the fish, birds are like the fish of the air. They're swimming through the air, but except it's called flying, and they have wings instead of fins. You know what I'm saying? They got tails, they got wings, fins. Think about it, or don't. Just think I'm crazy. So some of these turned out bad. So like I made little comments like, woof. This hummingbird's not bad. This was a spiky fish. Some of these were tough. And I was still getting used to doing quick timed drawings. I found it very challenging. I was getting really tight and like drawing really and I found that sometimes I would get way too stressed out and I really need to just loosen up. I do remember that there was this goldfish, and everyone, including me, we all thought it looked like a chicken, so I called it Chicken Little Fish. I love this owl though. The intensity of those eyes. Got a woodpecker. Have no idea what kind of fish this was. I can tell I was using a brush pen and Posca for this. Another hummingbird. I think this looks like a really angry Dory from Finding Nemo. Humph. Some more birds. Probably a nuthatch, maybe. And this says, getting tired. The perspective is tough for me for some reason. This was, I don't know, it was just a weird perspective. And this was a spiky fish. I really vividly remember that while drawing this, and sometimes, even last night at the art hang party where we were drawing candy, I drew things, and in the moment, and when I was looking at them in my sketchbook, I was like, oh, these are such a hot mess. I can't even tell what that is. And then I took a photo and then uploaded it to Discord, and Melissa was sharing everyone's artwork, and because that's what we do halfway through art hang party and then at the very end. And I love seeing what everyone makes. I think that's like my favorite part of the whole. I mean, it's not my favorite part, but it's just like such a good part. I looked at stuff. I was like, oh wait, it actually looks better than I thought. That looks pretty good, and you get surprised. So I remember making this thinking it was a big scribbly mess that you wouldn't be able to tell what it is. But I'm looking at it now and going, I can tell that that's like a spiky fish, or it could have been a shrimp. I mean, who knows, but not so bad. I mean, for two, and I mean, all these were done in usually we're doing 2 to 3 minutes. And when you're looking at these and going, I sketched these out in 2 to 3 minutes. Most of these just with a brush pen or something, but not bad. Not bad when you're on such a time crunch. Love this owl here. So cute. that little face. I know this is my friend Kelly's plant holder at her salon. It's like a Halloween cat or something with a plant in it. It's cute. So I was just waiting till she was ready for my appointment, and I was drawing plants. This might have also been, these were all plants that are in her salon. It might have also been me waiting for either my son or daughter. She might have been cutting their hair. So this, I love this spread. I was watching old music videos, and if you know who this is from, shout out to you. Then you're in the Gen X hood. This is from Blur's Coffee and TV video, which is a great video. It's really cute, and yeah, you should just go watch it. So there's Milky and then strawberry milk, and it's very cute. It's very cute. And Coffee and TV is actually about, I forget his name, but one of the band members was actually in recovery for alcohol addiction. And he wrote this song because he was basically like, I've just got to distract myself from drinking. So I'm having coffee and watching TV. And it was like a lot of like drinking coffee, watching TV. I don't know that having a lot of caffeine in your system is a great replacement for alcohol, but perhaps a bit healthier. But yeah, and it's a great song. Great song on my playlist. I always sing along to it. This was just like a picture I think I saw on Instagram or something of like a big chunky cat. So he's so chunky he took up the whole spread. This may have been where drawing funny pictures and oh wait, yes it is. Yes it is where it started. Drawing weird things became a little quiet obsession of mine that I hadn't told anyone about yet. So this is definitely the beginning. This is a photo I found on Pinterest of someone in a kooky costume, a butterfly costume. So I drew this, I think, while in a waiting room, and I started going down a Pinterest rabbit hole of kooky, crazy pictures. Started a secret Pinterest board called Weird Stuff, and kept it to myself until a few months ago, where I started sharing it with people and drawing really weird, wacky, goofy, silly stuff with them and having a good time. And as you can see, some of these things are actually still in that Pinterest board, and I haven't used on any of the public videos yet, but they're such good images. This was someone in a mushroom costume, a circus costume. It was like a circus tent, and they even have someone, it looks like someone's peeking out at the bottom. A little clown. It's off-putting and hilarious all at the same time. Just some doodles of plants. I was probably outside somewhere and drawing what was around me. I think I was looking up folk art and trying to make fish that looked a little more folk art. I really love Mexican folk art, like Russian, Dutch, Ukrainian folk art, like that kind of stuff. Colorful folk art, but Mexican I'm usually really drawn to. Yeah, because it's usually just really bright, bold, and colorful. What was I doing here? I think this is gouache. I think I had just gotten either my acrylic gouache in, or maybe this was I think maybe I was just testing out this paper. But it's gouache that's already dried and in a palette, so this wasn't like fresh. I think the Talents Art Creations works well with like straight out of the tube. This is watercolor, but you know, either way, I mean like gouache or acrylic, straight out of the tube, fresh. A dollop of that will do you just fine in here. But I think when you're using a lot of water, it just gets real muddy and messy looking. This isn't cotton paper. It's really not made for that. So that's why I use it mostly for travel or for just kind of my loosey-goosey sketchbook. This is when I got Tombow markers. I'd gotten a small set and they were like autumnal colors, I wanna say. It was like, I think it was called like pumpkin spice color set or something. I just liked the colors. I'm not a consumer of pumpkin spice lattes. I tried one once. It made me kind of yak. It was so sickening sweet and I couldn't take it. Couldn't take it. It was not for me. But pumpkin bread, pumpkin muffins, well, they're basically the same thing, aren't they? Yes, please bring it on. Pumpkin pie, hell yeah, baby. Yeah, the pumpkin spice markers, that's as, I don't know what I was gonna say. But I have a Tombow set, and then I ended up liking them so much, I went out and I went to Michael's to look at more Tombows, because I think I had ordered them, and I realized Michael's has their own set called Artist Loft dual brush watercolor markers, and they're exactly like Tombow, exactly the same, probably half the price. So I always recommend just get those dupes. Worth it, worth it. Cheap, and they've lasted just as long. They're all still very juicy. This was an art hang party from June 15th of 2023. This was drawing people's pets. So these look like squirrels, but I'm assuming these were cats. These were probably Sophie's dogs, I'm sure of it. Greyhounds, that's definitely giving Pia vibes, and Bebe. I don't know whose dog this is, but I remember when I drew it and the dog picture and everything, I was just like, oh my gosh, so sweet. And I always think that I'm gonna have a hard time drawing dogs, and my dogs turn out decent. And I think I love that sketch. My husband and I remember we went away for our anniversary and we stopped at this diner, and it was decorated very patriotically, like scary patriotically. I don't know how else to really put it. We were in a part of town that I felt like I would feel uncomfortable in after a while. I mean, it was like over the top. Like, I don't know, I was like, is this place sponsored by Uncle Sam? What's happening in here? So they had these little gnomes out that had they were like red, white, and blue hats, but I wanted to make it look more like a wizard hat, so it's just in black and white anyway, but I drew that while we were waiting for our food. Such a long, stupid story. This is in a doctor's office. I think I was taking Charlie to the doctor. We were going through the whole, it's funny how a lot of these things, it's almost like a journal and you remember what was going on. So my son Charlie was, we were trying to figure out if he had celiac disease or not. So this was one of the appointments we had before he had to go through that whole test. I was drawing this while we were waiting for the doctor too. Because I remember she walked in and she was like, ooh, look at those pretty butterflies. Like looked over my shoulder. So we must have been waiting quite a while. You know when you go in the doctor's office, you're in the waiting room. And then you go back to the exam room, but you're waiting in there for a lifetime as well. So this is probably 30 minutes worth of sketching, easily. So yeah. I know this was done in a waiting room. This was just kind of random doodles, making like swirly lines and stuff like that. This inspired me to start a couple of canvases. There's 3 of them that I did that are in this style, this illustrative style, I guess. Love how this turned out. I did something different on each of the canvases that isn't like this, but a similar vibe, if you will. Will you? And then here's another one in that style. This was at Scooter's Doghouse, which is a local hot dog eatery. It's basically a hot dog stand that's down near our favorite beach. So we always go there. It's only open from like Memorial Day weekend to Labor Day weekend, so it's just the summer, and they have, it's like all graffiti, not graffitied inside, not graffiti, it's a mural. There's like a mural painted around the whole thing. They have a bunch of like old vintage gas station signs and other like drink signs, all that kind of stuff. It's really cute inside. So I was doodling up some of the things on the wall, some of the things that we were eating, and some seagulls, because we were down at the beach basically. And I think this sketch is pretty cute. This was in a diner that we go to down the street, waiting for food. Did it come faster? I think it did. It's either that or I'm just passing the time and it goes by faster. I was trying to figure out the color palette that I was going to use for the paintings that I did. One of the paintings, I'm trying to look over at it now, I sketched this out real quick, kind of like, well, a giant thumbnail basically, but to see how I wanted to lay it out, because it was a like portrait style canvas. Does that make sense? It was gonna be vertical, not horizontal. So like this layout and this layout, I wasn't gonna do on the canvas. I was gonna do it vertical. So I was just figuring out a vertical version of that. Just drawing some flowers. I don't know if this was in our backyard or what. I honestly don't remember. I remember doing this waiting in a doctor's office. Just a picture of a model I found on Pinterest and a vintage tea kettle or coffee pot. Funny thing is that when I was looking at this on Pinterest, I was like, I know this coffee pot. I can't remember if my mom had it, still has it, or if it was my grandmother's. It could have been a neighbor, but I was just like, this feels so familiar to me. I think this is drawing a frog from memory. Feels like it's missing maybe a front leg or something. Drawing cat. I don't know if this was our cat. Could have been any cat. I think these were just kind of loose doodles. This I probably used a reference for, because I doubt I would have been able to draw a giraffe just from my imagination. I don't draw them enough to be able to do that. I have no memory of drawing this, but I assure you I must have. Probably just an idea for an illustration that I did not follow through. Oh, wait. I think I know what this is. When I first had my Patreon open in 2022 and 2023, I had it open for 7 or 8 months. I made an art print and a sticker every month, an exclusive one for Patreon. Unfortunately, I was spending a lot of money getting prints and stickers manufactured, so it was not a sustainable Patreon model for me. I was just trying to follow the model of a bunch of other artists that I had been patrons of, and thought that they were doing fantastic work, and I thought if I could do something like that, that might be a great income stream. However, I ended up spending more money than making, so but I think this is a thumbnail for my Crows at Sunset art print. All those prints, and it does not look like this. It turned out very different. It was like crows flying in front of like a rainbowy sunset sky. All those prints are currently on my website, debbiedrawsfunny.com. So if you ever want to check those out, they're very, very reasonably priced. Super reasonably priced. Reasonably. Did I say reasonably? I don't know. I can't rewind back in my head to hear it. Just drawing a landscape, I guess. I feel like I have a hard time with landscapes. There's nothing else going on back here, but I think I did this while in a waiting room somewhere, because it's just like not finished. Yes, this is when Charlie was having his endoscopy. That's the word. to find out to determine whether he did have celiac disease. Turns out, yes, he does. So I, nervous, waiting in the waiting room and all that. So, before he had to go under anesthesia. So gave him my sketchbook so he could doodle it. So he doodled me, sitting waiting. And I don't know who that is, scooting away. I think I know. I think we had our feet up on this like ottoman that was in the middle of all the chairs, and I think he kept scooting, so maybe that's what he was drawing. And that's his little like dude that he draws all the time. It's like Top Hat Man. He has a YouTube channel and he does animations, and I'm really proud of him. I think he does an excellent job with it. So, and that's like his logo guy. So if you have teenagers, they would probably like his content a lot. I enjoy it as an adult, but I will say he's sometimes swearing and things. So I'm just letting you know, heads up. We were eating at this restaurant called The Melt. We went there because we had just watched Ryan and Shane, who recently, I don't know if I can watch their content anymore, but they would do all the ghost hunting stuff. They used to be on BuzzFeed. Then they did their own channel called The Watcher, which is still there, but then they decided they were gonna leave YouTube and charge people money for their own streaming service, and it really backfired on them. Anyway, they had gone to The Melt, or they had ordered food from there when they were in Cleveland, and this one sandwich they had gotten sounded so good. So I was like, we were all sitting there watching it, and we were really tempted to go eat this thing. And we're like, we literally live here, so let's go check it out. Just doodling up some birds that I found on Pinterest. I wrote the names down because I'm like, once you scroll to another thing, you lose it forever, unless you saved it. Crested kingfisher, blue-eyed cormorant. Don't know what that is. But apparently it's a front on view because the beak is like all weird. A hoopoe? I don't know if this is from my Birds of Africa Birdwatcher book, or I have found some books pretty cheap. Like when the library has those book sales. So I have some books of birds from different areas. I feel like this was from that book. This is definitely not my best cardinal, but there it is. The owl, I think, is adorable. Oh gosh, this is from this is from therapy. I didn't have a notebook and I wanted to write some of these things down. That's what that is. A sanderling, a Carolina wren. This is just a simplified line drawing. An owl. Looks like I was using Tombow markers and just testing out blending for stuff like that. Oh gosh, I almost forgot about this. This is supposed to be Melissa Martin. She was painting a daisy painting with like a bunch of different daisies, and I had paused the TV like, let's try and do like a portrait drawing. I think that looks like Melissa, but I'm like, also it could look like anybody. And I was really trying to capture like the tortoiseshell glasses, but I think this does not. I think this is someone else's face. It feels like a generic girl face, but she had her hair like in a little low bun. So not, does it say not a great likeness, but the eyes are pretty good, I think. Yeah, so I don't think it looks exactly. I think there are like bits and pieces. Maybe this much. Maybe this much looks like Melissa. So there you have it. I was drawing my kids while we were waiting at a restaurant because it makes the food come faster. Everybody knows this now. And let's see. So Jack was making a face. This is when we went away for, we went away to an Airbnb for Easter weekend. So Jack was making a face. Charlie was we kept talking about mewing because it became like all the rage. And so Charlie was making like a mewing face. And this is terrible, Mr. Steak Charlie. Oh, I think maybe he got a steak and he said this is terrible, or he said that my drawing was terrible, one or the other. This really, I think, looks exactly like my daughter Amelia. Except when I first drew it, there was something I'd done that made it look like she was an old lady. Like she was like, I look like a little old lady. I'm like, well, you were making a little old lady face. What can I say? And my boys said she looks like a grandma, which I was like, she kind of does. But then I'd fixed it. I think it was like the way her face looked. Like it looked like she had jowls or something. So I put in like extra shading there, and that looked much more like her. And then she drew herself. It said me in real life. This is when I had gone and taken myself on a little artist date. I just went to the Metro Parks over here, and it was like one of the first really nice days of spring. It was the day before the solar eclipse, and I took my sketchbook with me in case the spirit moved me, and did some sketching. It's a very peaceful, quiet video. So if you hate the chatty videos, that one is definitely for you. It's on my Patreon. It's actually available to anyone. So whether you're a free member or a paid member. Free members do have some things on there. So I don't do like a ton of stuff, but I have some like free previews for the Weirdo Drawing Club, and I have like the video where I did this. I'm just out in nature drawing, stuff like that. So feel free to join. You can join for free. You can join as a paid member if you like. Super, super appreciate that. And you can even do a 7-day free trial, which I think is probably the best deal to get. I always recommend that because you can get access to every single thing on there. And if you don't like it, or you're like, I'm not in a position to pay $5 for anything, you can leave before the week is up and you won't get charged. So this was the next night. I think we went back to that restaurant. No, wait, this is much later. Because this was after I went here. We decided, the restaurant that we had gone to where I was doodling up the kids, and we were cracking up about it. We decided a couple weeks later to go back to that restaurant because it was good, but I think Amelia was out, or she didn't want to go. I don't remember if Jack may have had like a D&D thing with friends. So Charlie was the only one that went. So I doodled Charlie. That's supposed to be my husband, and it does not look like John at all. It's a very poor rendition of him. So, and then I was just trying to draw people in the restaurant. There was a big fat orange tabby cat that was outside the back of the restaurant. It was really cute, really sweet, but a little bit scared. So I think it's just a stray boy, and he hangs around the restaurant and someone must feed him. So, cause he was big. He was big, chunky, cute as a button, cute as a damn button. And I was like, I want to pick him up and take him home, but we thought that might not be a great idea. It was right before we adopted Phoebe too, I think. Was it right before or right after? I honestly don't remember, but no, it was right after. We had just gotten Phoebe, because I remember we found out we were gonna get her on the day of the solar eclipse, so. This is my friend Kelly's dog, Willow. She's the one who has the salon where I was drawing the plants. I know you guys really care about all that. You need to know all that information. I just want to round out the whole story. So this is Kelly's dog, Willow. Looks like a giant teddy bear. She's so cute, very sweet. I remember she was just like super, super hyper. So Kelly was having a hard time at first because she wanted to keep her at the salon because she was still kind of like a puppy. But she's super well behaved. Like, she really did a good job training her and like keeping her calm. This was just some photo of a cute resting koala bear. This is our cat Luna, and she's kind of a derpy cat, and she was sitting on top of like a big lumpy backpack, so her feet were hanging over. So, and I drew all of these while we were waiting to get into the Cheesecake Factory. Charlie and Amelia, it was their 17th birthday, and we were sitting waiting for a table. So yes, I pulled out my sketchbook. Yes, I drew animals. Yes, it passed the time a lot faster. And, you know, got some practice in. That's, instead of scrolling my phone, this is what I do most of the time. Again, in a waiting room somewhere, and I was drawing this. This was like, you know, I was sitting in a waiting room for like an hour. Found this, I just found like, what do I say, like an antique photo. It was just either a painting, must have been a painting, Lady Sophie Cadogan. So, did that, drew a bird. I remember on this day I realized that I had been working in this little pocket sketchbook that I would just keep in my purse and pull out every once in a while for a full year at this point. So this is a year of just pulling it out randomly here and there and filling in some doodles. So you can get a lot done, even if you feel like I only fill out this sketchbook once every couple weeks or every once in a while. You look at how much sketching I did instead of scrolling on my phone. All of those times that I was in a waiting room, at a restaurant, in the car, you know, in the passenger seat, or parked, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, you know what? A little bit every time, instead of doom scrolling on my phone or checking emails and getting stressed or whatever. It's for my mental health. On Mother's Day, I had gotten new Neocolor 2s and pens. So these are, I think they're Le Pen. They're like these bright neon colors. So I actually keep these 2 pens in my sketchbook. You're gonna see a lot more of that coming up. And these were the new Neocolor 2s. Colors don't really pop on this paper because it's that creamy off-white. Looks a lot better on white paper. This was Penelope Featherton, Glows Up. Featherington. So I don't know that looks exactly like her, but not bad. That's when Bridgerton had just come out, the first part of the latest season. I love the color palette here. These are the Le Pens and a brush pen in action. This was a chair from, I can't remember, I think this was a chair in a lobby somewhere that I drew. Can you even see it very well? I don't know if these colors are gonna show up fantastic with, on the paper, but yeah, especially when it's a single line. This was from the Lazy Redhead's still life studies. She had taken these really gorgeous photos using a lot of really colorful pop-in items for these still lifes. Beautiful photos on their own and just very fun to draw from. So I've done a couple things from there. These are some blind contour drawings. That's my niece. That's my son. This is my niece's dog. They're so fun. And the funny thing is, I'm like, when I was using their school picture and I was just looking at my son, so, and the dog kept moving around, which made it a challenge, but they look like them. I'm not gonna show you photos, but just trust me, their likeness is there. That is, I think, a half blind contour. That is my other niece. I think that looks not so much like her, but that was a blind contour. This is a blind contour of my mother-in-law, and it really does look like her. It's crazy. I mean, for not exactly, but it's like, for a blind contour, I know you guys don't know what she looks like, but trust me, it's her. That's a blind contour of my son Charlie. I think this is when we were at a restaurant or something. Yeah. And this was of my daughter Millie. It came out so weird. And it says, looks like some weird guy, is what she said. This does look a tiny bit like Charlie. There's the tiniest likeness there, but hardly. This is my husband on our 25th anniversary. And I did a blind contour. I was using a brush pen, which is a little bit messier with a blind contour. And we were at Tommy's in Cleveland. It's an awesome restaurant. It's been around forever. Love that place. What's interesting is my husband looked at it when I showed him because I said, it looks like a cartoon version of you. And he said, it looks like my father. And I was like, it does. My late father-in-law, I mean, especially I think like the nose, I think it really, and the jawline, it looks a lot like him. So I said, maybe that's his way of saying hi. That's another one I tried to do of John. That looks more like him than this does. So I feel like it's harder to draw people that I love, that are close to me, and I think it's tougher, than maybe to draw like someone you've known your whole life or their whole life, I feel like it's tougher. It's tougher to capture their essence because it feels flat when you put it on paper or when you paint it, because it's like, no, there's so much more to them. Like, this isn't enough. This isn't capturing enough. Even if it were to look exactly like them, it's like, I don't know how else to put it. This is like a more esoteric way of putting it. I don't know. That's my iced tea. This was just a plant there. Blind contour drawings at the doctor's office, fish tank. Yeah, this was waiting in a doctor's office. This would have been the pediatrician's office, and just drawing blind contour, drawing fish in the fish tank, which not half bad when you consider they're moving and you don't have a lot of time to really study them. This is Willow, my friend Kelly's dog. Blind contour drawing while waiting for my haircut. And I had a lot of fun with these. I thought this really captured her. That one. But it's like, they're also like curly and crazy looking because she just has that curly, fluffy fur. And she has these really long eyelashes, so yeah. This was a picture of some crazy birds on my Pinterest board. It's a red and white bird with stripes. I didn't know the name of the bird, so I just described it. A patoo bird. The patoo birds look like Muppets. They're so cute. They don't look like they're real. This is like some wild, crazy chicken. I know that this must be the same chicken that we drew in, I've got the sketchbook actually right here. Yeah, it is. Same one we used in the live drawing session that I did with Melissa Martin. We do a Google Meet live drawing session. We're gonna do it like every other month. I don't know, maybe we'll move it up to once a month in the future. It's free. We do it over Google Meet. It's fun, it's interactive. We want everybody to talk and chat. Not that you have to, but it's fun. It's a fun, goofy, silly time. And we were drawing strange animals, like strange, rare, exotic animals. And this chicken, I just based on, its feather, flock of seagulls feather pattern got thrown into the mix. I know I drew, this was recent. So John and I went away for our anniversary. We stayed at this cute little cottage right on Lake Erie, and I was just drawing trees and leaves that were on everything that was on the side of the road. I was just kind of drawing while in the passenger seat on the way there. That's my husband in the Mexican restaurant we went to for dinner. Doesn't look like him. Looks like a comic book version of him. It just doesn't look like him at all. The hair is wrong. Everything, the eyebrows are about all I captured. He's got some nice, thick, substantial eyebrows I'm very jealous of. I was doing blind contour drawing at this cottage. And of course, because it's on the lake, they've got a bunch of nautical themed stuff. So I was just blind contour drawing like some waterfowl and sailboats and things, and I think a lighthouse that they had, like, you know, as decorations there. I was drawing, this was in a restaurant, again, waiting for dinner. Just drawing some artificial flowers they had around. This was the live drawing session. Yeah, this is, okay. So I had started off the live drawing session. I was finishing up, I'd have to zoom out. I was finishing up this sketchbook, which I have a tour of if you want to watch. It's also 160 pages, but much bigger pages. I had started off here for the Google live drawing session that I did with Melissa. Name to be announced. I had said, we gotta name this thing. We can't just call it generic live drawing session with Melissa and Deb. We gotta give it a name. So we have a cute name and a super cute logo. Coming soon, can't wait to share it. I'd started out here, but it was literally the end of this sketchbook. So I had to close that up, and then I ran and got this one ready. So these were the last few reference photos that we were using. It's some kind of long-legged mouse. This cute owl, love him. This was a pig in some rain boots, but the way that his eye came out with the brush pen, I thought he looked kind of annoyed, and like the wrinkles, like it looks like he's curling up his face and just annoyed and saying, "What are you looking at?" This is a egret? No, it's a crane. A crane, yes. Or no, a wren? No. What the heck is it called? Why am I blanking? My brain is blanking. I've drawn this bird multiple times. So it's either an egret or a crane. And I am completely blanking out on what it is. All right, this was another crazy looking bird. And the way, like, its hair, its feathers on top of his head, everything that looked like, we had decided while talking in this whole Google Meet that this bird looked like she was like the office manager. So I called her Marjorie the secretary bird, because it was a secretary bird. It's actually, I believe, what it's called. But we're like, yeah, she looks like she runs the office and she means business. And so I put a little like glasses chain with reading glasses on it because it was fitting. I call these the can vultures because the way that their wings were out, and like the color of the feathers, because their legs were like white and everything else is dark. It looked like they're lifting up their skirts and showing you the gams. This is when I got my fun paint markers, my solid paint markers, the Sakura fluorescent paint markers. I am madly in love with them and obsessed. And you can kind of blend them together, like the pink and the blue. You can get this nice bright purple and make like a lime green. You can mix the yellow. You have to do it before it dries. Like, you really got to work fast. You can get a nice fluorescent orange. These are like my favorite thing lately. I am quite obsessed playing with these. I was just drawing like a hamburger, just trying to test out all the colors, see if I could mix things up to make the orange and the green and all that kind of stuff. Well, the green, no, I actually do have a green one, so that is the green. But just seeing how it would work. I had to work really fast to mix it all up, but it turned out pretty cool. Just making like a pattern. I think this looks like a Rizzo print. A Rizzo print. Just the way that the texture and everything is and the bright color, that's what it reminds me of. This was more testing them out. I just was so psyched about these. I just couldn't stop playing with them. So I think the next couple pages are a lot of that. I think I did Tombow markers, and then I think what I had done was one of these pages. Maybe it was this one. Like I did a whole bunch of smearing them around and then smushing the paper together, rubbing it, and seeing what kind of patterns came out. So, okay, we've got a kitty here. What you doing? Here's another page of playing around with them. I think this was kind of like an underlayer, or like pre-blobinating, as Sophie calls it, to draw on top of, but I just left it because I kind of liked it. And more playing around. This is with they're still kind of smudgy, tempera paint sticks. They're technically washable and made for drawing on pet fur. And some people use them to mark their cattle, I guess. But no, I think these are washable, so that's not gonna work. But they do make them for marking cattle and things. That makes me too sad and I can't think about it. So, but this was a Weirdo Drawing Club session from July 7th. What were we drawing? Was this a childhood? Yes, this was Chilling Childhood Memories. So there's a Draw Weird Things With Me video here on YouTube on the channel of that. This was the hour-long Patreon video, and we went deep into my childhood. Captain Kangaroo and Slim Goodbody, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Alf. Oh God, listen. This lady kind of creeped me out as a kid, and when I drew it creeped me out, and I feel like I've made my sketchbook haunted. So I can't look at her. I can't. She's so creepy. She's so creepy. She's called Madam, and as you can see, it says ew, and I hate her. And anyway, moving on. Lamb Chop. Real Monsters. And I called him a gross, smelly armpit guy. Howard the Duck. Why? Just why? Why does that movie exist? Why was it made? I think Louise submitted this one. The Book Palace Bookworm with an interest in becoming a Chippendale dancer? Question mark. I forgot about this. Because I'm like, why is he's a worm with a collar and a bow tie? What the hell? I know that Louise had entered Mr. Squiggle. Mr. Squiggle has a lot of explaining to do. He's very creepy. She shared one of the videos. It was upsetting. Anyway, Randy from Pee-wee's Playhouse. Okay, this was the Draw Weird Things With Me. So this is what we did for Draw Weird Things With Me. I filmed it on the same day. So boy, did I get a lot of drawing in and a lot of talking out, because those are some chatty videos, along with the live streams. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I have a voice anymore. So this is You Can't Do That on Television. Along with Madam. Listen, Madam will always creep me out way more than Lady Elaine, but Lady Elaine Fairchild, a little scared. But Lady Elaine, Madam just, I don't know, just scary when I was a kid. It's from Little Shop of Horrors, Audrey 2, Gumby, and the California Raisins, because America was really obsessed with making raisins cool again and trying to get kids to eat them, I guess. I don't know why, but I did like the California Raisins. They were basically like a parody of like the Four Tops or the Temptations. They were like a Motown raisin band. I say band, I don't think they were just a singing group. I'm positive one of the Raisins had a saxophone, so they were playing instruments. I don't know, are you a band if you just sing and don't play instruments? I guess you're still a band. I would think of it as a group. These are deep questions. Comment down below. I'm not a musician, I can't say. Yeah, so that is the small but mighty, cutesy bootsy, 160 pages of sketching. Sketching on the go, sketching in my car, sketching in waiting rooms and restaurants. highly recommend doing it instead of scrolling things on your phone that won't matter to you later. At least with this, you have something to look back on. And for me, I've got a lot of memories attached to my sketchbooks, a lot of knowing where I was emotionally or where I was physically, what was going on at the time. So being out with my family, places, all that kind of stuff. Special memories that you could easily forget, but when you record it like this, instead of just taking a picture, you know, I mean, obviously you can take a picture and record the memory, but I feel like there's something that remarkable that happens in the human brain. When you write something down, you remember better, and when you draw something down, you really, I can't explain how much, like, the memories, it just evokes such feelings when I look back at some of these. So I recommend it. It's kind of I was never a scrapbook keeper. This is kind of my scrapbook keeping method. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. If you can comment any sketchbooks that you like to use for travel, or what kind of pencils, pens, and stuff like that you like to use in a little travel sketchbook, I would love to hear. I'm always looking for new ideas. I'm always ears open. Comment, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It really, really helps out my channel, and I super, super appreciate it. So yeah, and I will see you soon on another video. Bye.